යෝජනා කරමින් මගේ කතාව අවසන් කරව බොන්සු.
බොහොම ස්තුතිකරු අමාත්‍යවරුනි ඊළඟට ගරු ගජේන්ද්‍ර කුමාර් පොන්නම්බලම් මැතිතුමා ඔබතුමාට මිනිත්තු 10ක කාලයක් තියෙනවා.
I thank you, Honourable Presiding Member. When we talk in terms of the condition of justice in this country, when you have a convict of a massacre in Mirasaville going through the entire judicial process of this country and having his conviction affirmed even by the highest court, the president then goes on to release him, pardons him. I think that is a good indication of how much justice is in fact valued in this country. Friends, cronies, murderers get pardoned. The pardon, Honourable Presiding Member, as the Honourable Minister of Justice fully knows, is a provision that ought to be used by a president under conditions where the law has not caught up or the prevalent law in a particular case has led to inherent injustice, but at that time the prescribed law was such, and therefore in future the law was to be changed, but the convict, because of that injustice, ought to have been released. That is the reason why a pardon should be used. Not in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka it is used to release murderers, robbers, convicts who are friends or who happen to belong to your ethnicity. That is what this provision is being used for. You have a state minister for prison reforms. Prisoners are at the total custody of the state. They are at the total mercy of the state. The fact that they are suspects or convicts is another matter. And for them, there is a ministry that is being created in this country. And the state minister concerned goes into that prison and threatens people. So much so that the presidential media division issued a statement stating that the concerned state minister is resigning from those portfolios because he accepted the injustice that he has committed. But that same former state minister, who continues to be a state minister in this government, has the audacity to come today whilst the Ministry of Justice is being debated and sit next to the Minister of Justice. Sit next to the Minister of Justice. That is the state of justice in this country. People who we know, everyone knows, is guilty are out. But people against whom your own laws cannot be used to prove their guilt, PTA prisoners, are languishing in prison. The Honourable Minister of Justice knows fully well, if the PTA is reformed to international standards, not a single convict or remanded individual under the PTA will continue to be incarcerated. They'll all be released. But that is the state of justice in this country, where your own laws cannot convict people, but they are inside. But criminals who should never be even in this house are outside. That is what we are at. Talking about prison reform, since you are in charge of that, I wish to state, Honourable Minister, we have work camps. There are 10 work camps in the country. This is according to the ministry report. There are 2 open work camps correctional centers for youth offenders. But none of these are in the Northeast. Not one. So, I think that is also something that you must address. I happen to speak to some retired judges, recently retired, and I have been asking them for advice to raise issues that they might consider relevant. And here's some of them. Here's what some of them have said. They are Tamil retired judges. Trincomalee has had one magistrate court. It has subsequently become two. The second court that was opened is a Sinhala court. It functioned in Sinhala. This is in the Northeast. The reason given is because there are some Sinhalese within that area. Likewise, Kantalai, which was a Tamil court, because it is within the Northeast, now functions as a Sinhala court. That is where records, everything are kept in Sinhala. Again, the reason given is that there are significant amount of Sinhalese in Kantalai. Through the colonization schemes over the years, there are significant amount of Sinhalese in Kantalai. In Colombo, almost half the cases are Tamil in nature. Parties are Tamil. But everything is done in Sinhala. Same case in Mount Lavinia, in Nuwara, in Avissavella, in Hatton, in Walapane, almost entirely Tamil. Almost entirely Tamil, Honorable Presiding Member. But everything is done in Sinhala. Everything is done in Sinhala. Why these double standards?
කරු අන්තිමට මිනිත්තු දෙකක කාලයක් තියෙනවා ඔබතුමාට. ගරු අමාත්‍යතුමා.
No, Honorable Minister, what I'm trying to tell you is that you have created courts. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You have created courts in the Northeast, an area where everything is supposed to be kept in Tamil. You have created courts for the convenience of Sinhalese people settled in the Northeast, because that is convenient. Then why isn't that same standard being applied in the South? No, it won't. It won't. Because there is an agenda behind that. Even now, the courts in the Northeast, even in the northern province, are being staffed systematically by Sinhalese. In Vavonia, there is a majority of Sinhala staff. The judge is a Tamil-speaking judge, but because the majority of the staff are Sinhalese, they are asking the judge to also write judgments in Sinhala, to keep notes in Sinhala. So, there is a system that is happening here. The Ministry of Justice, in the Ministry of Justice, there is injustice. You must, if ever these things are going to be corrected, it is only going to be corrected by someone like you, individual. Certainly not by the state apparatus. So you must address these concerns. The Judicial Service Commission, I'm told, sends all its circulars even to the Northeast in Sinhala. This is ridiculous, Honorable Minister. So these are matters that have to be... There are clearly double standards that are taking place. You must address this. One matter, just give me 1 minute. The Honorable Namal Rajapaksa is here. I think he is the Minister of Technology. I think identity cards come under you. The issuance of identity card is done where the GS insists that a person can be issued an identity card, or he is prepared to recommend, only if the name appears in the voters list. That is completely wrong, Honorable Minister. You see, the voters list is in fact, the electoral list, in fact says that you must not use the voters list to show residency. Right? You can have several areas of residence. You don't need to have only one area of residence, and if your name appears in the voters list, that is not your official residence. You can have it in Colombo. I have my vote in Jakarta, but I also live in Colombo. If I want to have my identity card issued in Colombo, the GS, the Grama Sevaka Niladaris should be told that if in fact I have a residence in Colombo, then I must be permitted to have my identity card in the place that I want it. So this is another matter.
අවසන් කරන්න ගරු මන්තුමා කාලය අවසන්.
I'm winding up. This is another matter that you must address. Thank you.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි ගරු මන්තුමා. ගරු අමාත්‍යතුමා. ගරු නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මන්තුමා.
Honorable member, we will look into it, but anyway, we'll be introducing the new digital ID early first quarter of next year. I think the problem at the moment is the entire system is done manually. So then the documentation is a bit difficult. So that's why certain GAs or Grama Sevakas may be using this method to make it more simplified. But definitely we will look into it. And once we introduce a new digital ID card in next first quarter of next year, where we will be getting everything on order, so that I'm sure the complications that your member raised up will be taken up. Thank you.